Hi, I'm Emma Jenner, and the last 13 years I've spent working in fashion and luxury retail. Training was a key part of my roles, and I really wanted to kind of formalize that with some training, and really push into the learning and development area. Um, I previously had been a visual merchandiser. I had worked in operations, and yeah, training was a key part of those roles. But working in retail, you don't get a lot of flexibility. There's not a lot of hybrid working arrangements available. And once I became a mum, I really needed to have that flexibility. So I did a bit of research. I was fortunate enough to be able to take some time off and do some study in adult education. And during that time, I did a little bit of research, or quite a lot of research about what sort of roles were out there, what was out there in the job market, and with the idea of somehow future-proofing myself. And I came to see that there was a lot of growth in the digital learning space. And the roles I was looking at in learning and development, being able to design and develop e-learning modules was a key part of those roles. So that's what prompted me to do a bit of research, and I came across you guys. So I did the Certificate of Instructional Design. I studied that. I finished up in June of last year. And what attracted me to that was it was a nice, it went for about 8 weeks. It was manageable for me at that time while I was looking for work. And I really just needed a foot in the door, an introduction to e-learning development and design. Um, a lot of the jobs that I was seeing online were asking for skills, um, uh, people that could work within Articulate, Rise, and Storyline. So I was particularly attracted to the master classes in Articulate Storyline that were included in that course. I wanted a foot in the door into learning and development, but I also wanted to future-proof myself. And that's what really led me to study the e-learning, to study in that digital learning kind of landscape. The job market is very strong in that area in Australia, and and a lot of those roles include hybrid working arrangements post-COVID. So I was really looking to future-proof myself, as well as have a bit more flexibility now since becoming a mum. It was a great for someone who hadn't studied in some time. It was a nice. It went for about 8 weeks. It was a nice kind of introduction. It was a great way to get back into that rhythm of studying. And I really enjoyed it. The content was very engaging, and I really liked the touch points, the collaborative aspects. I think we had 4 or 5 workshops online. So, and what was really interesting about that is that people were joining from all over the world. So I'm in Australia, but there were people joining from Canada and America and in Europe. And yeah, that was very interesting. And it was great to have that opportunity to collaborate and have discussions with other learners, um, while the course was predominantly delivered online. It was a really practical approach. It gave me a lot of insight into the different roles within learning design. It was a great introduction to the different types of software that's out there. And it was, I enjoyed the project side of it. So actually creating, like actually getting to test my skills and develop a develop a plan for learning design. I'm the type of person who I just like to get straight in and start doing things. So when I start a course, I always like to jump ahead, get an idea for the types of project work and assessment that I will be doing. And that way I'm a little bit more informed throughout the learning process. Yeah, I like to think ahead about how I'm going to be applying the knowledge and skills as I'm learning. The resources were comprehensive, easy to follow. The online learning platform was was very user-friendly and it looked professional. If there were times when I reached out because I needed some help, and the response was fast and timely. So yeah, I felt supported through it. Certainly enough to consider doing the diploma now. I think I'm a bit of a success story in that doing that course gave me the confidence to be able to to be able to apply for the jobs that I wanted, and to be able to walk into an interview and know what I was talking about. Talk about the ADDIE model and different approaches to designing learning. And what I think what got me over the line with my current job is having that practical experience using Articulate Rise, so designing learning and then actually developing it in the authoring tool. Since that time, in my current role, it's sort of I work in three different areas. I'm a training coordinator, an LMS administrator, and I design and develop e-learning, both compliance modules and technical modules, and take what I've learned and put it straight into my job. And I'm currently working on a large project that is taking what was historically face-to-face learning and turning it into e-learning so that it's on demand and available for the people that we work with at any time. And that includes a range of compliance modules, things like code of conduct, cyber security, workplace health and safety. But I happen to work with a lot of auditors and accounting professionals. So, and my background is not in that space, but what I learned in the course has allowed me to design and develop modules in that space. The certificate is definitely worth a try. Certainly if it's an area that you're interested in but not sure about, it's a great foundation. Otherwise, the diploma is a great option if you're interested in your ongoing professional development, because then of course you can build on that with the different specializations. I'm particularly interested in AI, which is a hot topic in L&D. So and you also get the advantage of the CPD, access to CPD as well. So I think I think where the Digital Learning Institute really excels is that you've got options for continued development. Absolutely. It's a global training organization. You don't have to go to university anymore. Like, you can just find the course that gives you the skills to get you to the next place. And that's what I do.
Design a better future with the Digital Learning Institute.